Oh my goodness. It's just, oh, it looks so good. It tastes so good, y'all. Look at that. So rustic and yummy. Look at this, Eric. I'm making Zuppa Toscana. Doesn't that look good? It's like that Olive Garden soup.
That's interesting. Hope it turns out good.
So this is some of my leftover ham from Thanksgiving. And I have like, this stuff right here is like the gelatin that comes from the meat when you cook it. And that's going to start off with a great base for our soup. So here it is in the pot. I'm going to add a couple cups of water to that and turn the heat on. So if you're not lucky like me, where you have leftover ham, you could also use like a ham shank or pork fat, or you could use like canned beef broth or chicken broth. It's up to you. Alright, but it just adds a richer flavor. And if you don't have any of that, you can also use water. Alright, so now I have some Italian sausage, bulk Italian sausage. If you can't find bulk, you can always get the Italian sausage in the casings and just remove it from the casing. Alright, I'm using mild, but you can use hot Italian sausage, which I think would probably be a little more authentic to the dish, because they do have those red pepper flakes that float in the soup. Personally, I think that the Zuppa Toscana tastes better later in the day. I think they make it in the morning and then just let it simmer. But it just seems like the flavor develops. Like if you go like after 4, especially at the very end of the day if they haven't run out. I don't know, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Alright, so I'm going to let this cook up and do its thing while I wash the kale. Alright, so the sausage is pretty much cooked. It's okay if there's a little bit of raw because it will cook in the soup. And when I say a little bit, I mean real little itty bitty bit. Alright, so what I'm doing now is just making sure that it's crumbly, running my spatula through it, chopping it. Oh, there's not really a lot of grease in this. I'm really impressed. I like when sausage isn't really greasy. Seems like when you get the premium sausage, it's got less fat in it. Like you gotta have a little fat for flavor and texture. But then there's a little bit, and then there's when it's a little too much. And this one is perfect. Because you don't, like when I do this, you don't really see it really pooling. Alright, so I'm going to put this in my big pot. And I'll be right back. Alright, so here is my pot that had the ham with the gelatin left in it. You can see there's actually pieces of ham. So I'm going to pull those out and chop those up. Alright, so I'm just going to sit here and cut some of this up. You want to try not to scrape your plate. It's bad for your knife. But I didn't want this hot ham on my cutting board either. So I just put that ham. You see there's not really a lot of ham. But you notice when you eat that Toscana soup, there's some kind of, it's either ham or prosciutto. I don't know. I saw some recipes, like the copycat recipes, that put bacon in theirs. And that's fine too, if you don't have the leftover ham like I do. Alright. So this will actually break up a little more too as it cooks. Alright, I'm going to put this back in the pot. Alright, so now I got to prepare my kale. I washed it really good, even though it was pretty clean. And I just want to tear it into bite-sized pieces. I'm going to go ahead and put it in this plate. So you definitely don't want to put these big stems in there, you know. You can just use your hands to process it. So that's the last of my kale here. I'm just going to cut through it like this. Kale is really fibrous, which makes it really good for you. Alright, so now I'm going to put this into the pot, and I'll be right back. Alright, so the kale is in the pot, looking all pretty. I'm going to cover the pot now and let all this cook. So I have some shallots here. I thought I had more. I would definitely use more, at least twice this amount, if I had it. But I'm going to use what I got. I'm just going to roughly chop these. Alright, so I have carrots, onions, and celery in here. And I'm going to saute those until they're translucent. And I know you guys are probably going to be like, but they don't have carrots in the Zuppa, Toscana. But I guarantee you they probably use a bouquet garni and probably take it out later or mash it up, because it just adds a certain richness to it. You know, I wish I had a little more onion, but it will, you know, flavor it. Although this is shallot, I suggest a yellow onion for this. I only use a shallot because one of the people who will be enjoying this, they don't eat onion because they're allergic to onion, but they can eat shallots. Allergies can be so weird. Alright, I'm also going to add some garlic to this. Okay, I'm going to add quite a bit of garlic. Enough for about 3 or 4 cloves. I read one recipe, they said add 10 cloves of garlic. That seems a little excessive to me. We're going to leave it at that. Alright, so we'll just cook it a couple minutes. I did use that garlic that's processed in a jar. I just happened to get it one day to try it and just want to use it up. Alright. Once we get this in the pot, we're going to process the potatoes. Alright, so it's looking so pretty. I've moved it to a new burner. I'm like, oh, I need to turn the burner on. I got it on medium for now. If it's boiling too hard, you can put it to low. But doesn't that look pretty with all the vegetables? Look at that. I'm going to mix it a little bit. Uh-oh, all the steam is coming up. You see all that liquid? I might add another cup of water to this. Alright, be right back with the potatoes. So I got 4 a little bit larger than medium potatoes. And I'm going to cut these in half. Because if you ever notice, uh-oh, look, I don't like that. I have to dig that out. Alright, the Toscana soup, the Zuppa Toscana, actually has like potatoes that are sliced. So I washed these and I removed the eyes, scrubbed them good. But anyway, you want to slice these about like this, about a 1/4 inch. That's the way it is in the soup. I'm going to get me another knife so I can kind of clean up things like this. Now these go in the soup. Alright, so I added enough liquid just to barely cover the potatoes. You can still see some potatoes sticking out. So we're going to put this on medium until it starts to boil and then move it to low. Before it goes too far, I'm going to go ahead and add a little salt. Not a lot because sausage is salty and I'm not sure how salty that sausage really is. I'm going to add a little dash of pepper, but not too much at this point because the taste of pepper expands. So now we're going to let that cook for actually a little couple hours on real low so the flavors will meld. Okay, so it's been cooking about 30 minutes now. Don't that look good? Alright. So I'm checking it every 30 minutes or so. As you can see, the liquid is getting a little lower. So I'm going to add another cup of water to this. Okay, we want this to get that all day flavor. That's why I'm cooking it for so long. You can see the different things in there too. Alright, and I check it every 30 minutes, making sure everything looks good. Alright, so I need to finish up the soup. So I have some parm here. I have some Italian seasoning. So what I'm going to do is add a couple of tablespoons of cornstarch to my cream. And mix that up. And we're going to pour this into the soup. We're going to pour the parm and then a couple of tablespoons of the Italian seasoning. I don't know if my camera is tall enough. You know what? I'm going to get me a whisk. Alright, so I have my whisk here. Get this slurry a little slurrier and less lumpy. Alright, so let's go on over to the soup and see if I can get this camera in the pot. Alright, looks like you might be able to see in there. Yeah, a little bit. Alright, so let me put this lid over to the side here. So first what I'm going to do is add a couple of tablespoons of the Italian seasoning in there. Now you could add this earlier if you like, but it just needs a good, I would say a good 30 minutes. Alright, that was about, okay, so about 2-3 tablespoons. Not too much more because you don't want to overpower it with the seasoning. Alright, let me get that mixed in there. I might need a little more water. I'm going to see what it looks like after I put the cream in here. So it looks like it's been cooking all day. It's been cooking for about 3 hours. So, yeah. Alrighty then. I'm going to go ahead and put my cream and cornstarch in there. Get that mixed up. Now I need to determine if I need to put just a little more water. I think it needs just like about 1 or 2 cups more. Alright, I'm going to let that come up to temperature. Be right back. Alright, so I'm going to add just a cup more water. I just used the same measuring cup I had the cream in. Oh, that's looking like the Zuppa from Olive Garden, doesn't it? Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to try this, but it's got to cook a little bit, at least 10 more minutes. I have it on low. I'm going to turn it on medium to get it back to boiling again. So this will get thicker because I do have that cornstarch in there. You don't have to add the cornstarch. It's just it gives it a more velvety feel, mouth feel. But you do want to get that raw cornstarch flavor out of there, so it's got to cook. Alright. As it's getting up to temp, I'm going to add about a half cup of parm in there. Mix that in there. Oh, this is going to be so good, y'all. I'm so excited. Is it bad? I'm so excited about this soup. Because when I was younger, I tried to make this before. You know, I went to culinary school and everything. And even though it was good, it just wasn't the same. But I have a good feeling about this. This looks so amazing. Doesn't that look amazing? Woo! Alright, let's let this get the temperature. Alright, so it's starting to bubble now, boil. So I'm going to take a little taste to see if I need more salt. So I kind of waited until after I added the cheese, because the cheese is salty. Okay, I was right between the sausage and the cheese. It doesn't need any more salt. So it's perfect. I don't know. For me, the pepper is perfect. You might want to add a little more depending on your taste. So yeah, it's really good. It needs to cook a little longer. The soup is amazing. Alright. I think it's ready to be served. Ooh, it looks so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Alright. So now it's in the bowl. What do you think? Isn't it beautiful? I'm going to move it closer to the light so you can see it better. Alright, so here it is. My potatoes have broken up, but that's the way I like it. Like I said, like the end of the day, this is what the soup looks like. The kale is cooked down really good. Oh my goodness. It's just, oh, it looks so good. It tastes so good, y'all. Look at that. So rustic and yummy. So I say, this is a winner, y'all. This is really good. Oh man, that ham bone that well, not ham bone, but what I had left over from Thanksgiving, just amazing. There's little chunks of ham, little bits of carrot in there. So I say this is a winner. Alright, well, thank you for joining me for Chef Carter's Cooking Corner.